What's up YouTube, welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be talking about last Sunday's Talladega race and what it was missing. But before we get into that, make sure you leave a like, hit the subscribe button, let's go get right into the video. Last Sunday's race was an all-around awesome race. There were very few dull moments and fans were on the edge of the seats at almost all times. But there was something missing from this race that hindered it from being a 10 out of 10 classic NASCAR race. And I'm not trying to bash the race, you know, like saying it was a terrible race or nothing like that. It was an amazing race, and nor am I trying to bash NASCAR's decision to be a caution, but the problem was that there was a caution. Now, on the small chance that you missed the race and somehow have not seen what happened, here is a brief race review or recap brought to you by my Discord server. Link in the description. Stage 1 started out pretty much probably like you expected, with Ford dominating and teaming up like they usually do, but then at the end of the stage, Chevy came out of nowhere. Ty Dillon actually gone to get his second stage win of the season and really earned it, so congrats to him. He has more stage wins than MTJ. Chase Elliott would lead the first half of stage 2, then Ford would get it back because of pit stops, but then Chase Elliott would once again find him out front with his teammate Alex Bowman. Chase would go on to win stage 2, earning his first stage win of the season. In stage 3 there were so many different leaders that I lost count, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it back to the main topic. So here's the scene with one lap to go. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ryan Preece, Daniel Hemrick are your top 4, and for the sake of this video we're just going to assume that the rookies don't yoink the win away from Chase and Alex. Anyways, that is your lead pack on the back straightaway, and just before Alex Bowman can make a move on Chase Elliott and we can see the battle, William Byron turns right and Kyle Larson turns into a spinning top, causing a caution and freezing the field, with Chase Elliott winning and Alex Bowman in the runner-up position. But what if the wreck doesn't happen? Generally, for a race or sporting event in general to be considered a classic, it needs a great finish. Whether it be a tie game winner, overtime game winner in basketball, or a touchdown game winner in football, you know, there needs to be a great finish in order for people to remember it. And for a race especially, fans are a lot more likely to remember a race because of its close side-by-side racing or beat and bang finish, rather than how close the racing is up until the closing laps. So like, you're not going to remember really laps 1 through 180. Like, nobody's going to really remember that. And a good example of this is last year at Chicagoland. Despite the above average at modest all-around race, it is considered one of the top races of the decade because of the close battle between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. And it was a really great battle, and it's one of the greatest finishes, I would say, of the century. I mean, like, top 20, like, not the best. All right. I'm not trying to get too crazy here. But this year's Talladega had the ingredients. I mean, it really did. A great battle between Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman, but it wasn't able to pan out. And again, this isn't like a knock on the race or the caution. I would have called the caution in that situation. You got to get to Kyle Larson as soon as possible, and you got to slow down the cars in order for that to happen. So I'm not saying that it shouldn't have, but I'm just pointing out that the caution really did rob us of a great finish. Alex said in a post-race interview that he felt he could get to Chase's quarter panel, and if he would have been able to do so, that could be seen as a turning point for NASCAR. A couple sentences here. First of all, I don't want to, I know that sounds like a really high claim, but what I really mean by that is it just really could be seen as one of them. Like, I'm not saying that specifically means NASCAR's back, but it could be seen as one of the turning points to where NASCAR, you know, starts to rise back in popularity. Also, another thing, this could be seen as a turning point. This could really be a turning point for both Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman for multiple reasons. One reason is a good finish is always good for a driver, whether he be winning a lot or whether he's not winning a lot or getting a lot of good finishes. This is good for Alex Bowman to, you know, give him some confidence, and along with Chase Elliott, just give him more confidence. But you got to remember the last season for Chase Elliott. After he got that win at Watkins Glen, he went on a tear, winning 2 more races, and Dover was one of them. And Dover has always been one of his better tracks all the way back in 2016, where he almost got another win stolen by Kyle Busch. So Dover is definitely a really good track to have right after winning at Talladega. So why is it such a big deal? Well, I mean, Chase Elliott is NASCAR's most popular driver, and while getting a win is huge in itself, but having an intense battle and winning would be even bigger. And also, despite all the unreasonable hate that Alex Bowman gets, he's still a pretty popular driver amongst former Dale fans. At turn 20, and getting the 88 back in victory lane, especially at Talladega, one of Dale's best tracks, would also be pretty huge for NASCAR. And like it or not, these young drivers in general, not just Chase and Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, all these guys are the future of the sport, whether you like it or not, whether you're a Kyle Busch fan, Martin Truex fan. These guys are the future of the sport, and any chance they can get to win, any chance they can, I mean, I know this one, in this case, it was young driver versus young driver, but especially any chance you can see a young driver go up against a older driver and win, that's pretty big for the sport moving on. And again, I know people don't like that, but that's just the reality of what we're in. Young drivers are what is going to carry the sport into the future, and we have to be accepting that. And not all NASCAR fans are like that, but there are a lot of NASCAR fans that don't like it when people point out that young drivers winning would be better than the sport rather than old drivers winning, which it's just how it is. I mean, you're trying to move your sport into the future. But again, I'm not saying that old drivers shouldn't win. I don't want them to win. I don't want old drivers to win, but I'm just saying for the sport of NASCAR, getting some young drivers like Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, etc., getting those guys some wins is definitely better than literally Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney being the only two drivers of young age to win in the past 2 years, and Eric Jones right by him. So yeah, definitely some young drivers getting wins is nothing but good for the sport. And the race, it was an amazing race. It was all around entertainment. It's a new package to hit, and I hope NASCAR keeps it. And they might. The only reason they wouldn't is because of that Kyle Larson flip. But I mean, it really is a fluke. But I'm not going to get into that. But despite its all-around entertainment, I still do feel robbed of a great finish between two young, talented drivers. And it could have been even four if you had in Daniel Hemrick and Ryan Preece. But despite this, it was an amazing race, and Chase Elliott winning is always good for the sport, no matter what form it comes in. And the race for me is still a 9 out of 10, which is the best of the season in my opinion. But it was just a great finish away from being a 10 out of 10 and known as one of the best races of the decade. But that's all I got for today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if y'all are new. Got some more videos coming out. There might be actually probably just one more this week, but make sure to comment down below your thoughts. Do you think I maybe was overreacting, or do you think this really could have been a great race between the 88 and the 9? Be sure to comment down your thoughts down below. And yeah, that's all I got. See you all in the next one. Peace out.